Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, a lot of people have been asking about the campus protests at universities all over the United States. People protesting the war in Gaza. And people have been asking, for updates on that, updates on the Middle East and things going on, just trying to see, how escalatory these things are or are going to be, and people, wondering if any of the things that are happening to try to make a difference will make a difference, all kinds of questions and things around that. So we're going to try to take a look at that today, right here, see what answers we can find out, insights we can learn, discoveries that can be made, any and all of that. We're fixing to take a look. So, I'm a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and in these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't let that scare you. Got a good track record here on the channel. I hear some doggy footsteps. Yeah, you're gonna see them come in and out in the video, and hopefully it's not gonna be too distracting. Usually they're locked up, aka puppy gated, into the kitchen, so that on tons of squishmallows and stuff like that, they're fine, but they're usually secured in the kitchen with all their little pillows and blankets and all of that kind of stuff that I'm sure y'all have seen on the B-roll videos. But my kitchen, speaking of Warzone, my kitchen is one. Obviously, it's a joke. I'm not literally trying to compare the state of my kitchen to what's happening over there, but legit, my kitchen is an absolute mess right now. It flooded, so I'm going through all that. If I have any pictures or videos, I'll stick them in here. Let's see if you can hear this. So here's the floor. Water's on. Now look at this. So yeah, they're gonna be kind of coming in and out because I have them set up here. Let me see if I can do this. I don't know if it'll do it. If I tilt my camera, you see, this is my chair right here, the edge of my table. Got Scooter off the edge of my table, stretching over there on his little blinkies and toys. You see some squishmallow, this way, the axolotl, and oh, the camera, it's so hard to do when it's backwards. That's a dinosaur squishmallow. Oh, he's gonna make a spot right here, right now. Cool. Yeah. So, this is their space right now, even while I'm filming. So, pardon any interruptions or disruptions as we take a look at the questions for this particular video. They might be in and out, and, they've got to have a space to go. They got to have a space to be. So, this is the arrangement. So thank you in advance for your patience. So while we're over here, we may as well move this microphone right here. And let's go ahead and get shuffled up and see what we can find out, what we're allowed to know, what we can know about all of this madness going on in the world. And starting here with just kind of wanting to take a look at what do the guides have to say. I'm sitting on the floor. I had to boost myself up. What do the guides have to say about the protests at universities? Good thing, not good thing, gonna be super helpful, not gonna be super helpful. etc., etc., etc. Let's see. And as usual, I know some of these questions we take a look at on these videos are highly charged, as in controversial, as in people have lots of opinions and big emotions around them. Just try to respect the reading, respect each other, respect the cards, respect me, respect all across the board, whether you agree, disagree, all of those things. I'm not trying to make waves. I'm just trying to take a look at what I see and, go from there. So, all alleged, just my interpretation. Let's go. Let's take a trip here. Well, upright or reverse? Sideways. Try again. Upright or reverse? That's more upright than anything. We'll take it that way. Okay. Alrighty. So, Ooh. I want a context card up on you. Oh, really? Okay. So, just diving right straight up on into this. From what I'm looking at here, in terms of how these, protests and campuses are, I guess, perceived by the guides, or, whether they are good things, bad things, etc., like that. I'm seeing here with the Temperance card upright, and this is a card that's usually about balance and peace. So obviously they are acknowledging and validating the intention of these are because people feel like they want more balance and they want more peace, and they feel like what we're seeing over there in Gaza is not a lot of either of those two things, balance or peace. And so the card here upright, this is often, as y'all know who've had private readings with me, that this is often our spirit guides cards, where it's like our spirit guides are trying to be supportive and comforting and helpful and all of those things. So I see a lot of, trying to be supportive and understanding and compassionate and helpful, knowing that the core root of this, again, it's people wanting balance and peace. The Hermit card in reverse, though, is a card about deep reflection and soul searching. And so when that comes up, there is a sense here, and again, I'm, not intending any disrespect on any kind of way, there is a sense here that there could be more deep reflection and soul searching going on relative to this matter. That is not, I feel in this case, intended to be a critical thing to say, like criticizing people who are protesting. It instead seems to be a way to kind of help people understand where their feelings are, where their motives are. The fact that we live in this 3D world means that all of our actions come with both good and bad and neutral, I guess, consequences. And we choose our consequences when we choose our actions. And some things, feel worth it. Some things don't. There's a lot to weigh out. This is very complicated, because it's not only complicated about their education, it's complicated about the education of others at the colleges and universities. It's also complicated about people's emotions and about, are you doing something that's helping you heal, or are you doing something that's making you more distraught and more angry, and, it's actually messing up your mental health. It's also complicated in that, how far do we think this has a potential to help versus any potential to harm? Risks versus benefits, things like that. Risk versus benefits to the communities, to other students, to things happening abroad, and risk and benefits to people in themselves. People, if they are putting themselves at risk of getting arrested, it might feel like that is something that they could handle, and it could be okay, and they're getting arrested for the cause could even be a popular thing. But then later on, is this going to affect their ability to get a job? Is this going to affect, their ability to, get a loan, or other kinds of things that, are fairly important to happen in society? Is it going to mess with their future? So they're just basically saying there's a lot of actual deep reflecting here, that maybe many people are doing, but also it seems here they're saying many people have not yet done that level of thought. It is possible that some people could get swept away in a movement without having done this part here, and they could be left with some consequences to themselves or others that they would otherwise later in hindsight feel like, hey, yeah, there's some things I would have done differently had I been more aware of that. So again, I think this is all with compassion. I don't think this is with any kind of criticism. But this looks like so that they are being supportive, and yet also adding in this side here. In terms of what I see down here, I do see the Hierophant card upright. Now, y'all know when I pull that card that has a lot to do with institutions. We're talking about universities, which obviously institution, and we're also talking about the point that they're protesting the things that are happening over in Gaza. And one of the aims of the protest, as I understand it, and haven't looked super deeply into this, because y'all know I tend to try to read fairly cold ish, however much I can, but that a lot of people are asking for divestment, aka universities, please stop funding things that are killing people, or please stop, pull out your investments that are contributing to what's happening over there. There's obviously more sophisticated ways of saying that, but essentially that is one of the things they're asking for. With this being in the upright position, this does mean that it looks like there will be some changes as a result of what they're doing. So there will be some impacts and some changes. This doesn't look like what they're doing is for nothing. So from what I'm seeing here, there's something to come from this. There are some potential valuable outcomes here. However, our Hangman card here is saying that things will take a lot more time than what people hope. People hope for quick change. And when we're talking about huge things like this, quick change is not often a given. Things take long, especially when they're dealing with systems and the collective. It takes a long time. So I'm not seeing major really quick changes. Okay, there the dogs go running out and barking. Okay, good. Happy bark works. I'm sorry for all the barks. I'm telling you, it's chaos out there and it's chaos in here. And so this is about having to sit there and watch and wait and observe. And with observing comes this card over here. So this card is all about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. So part of the problem here is there's a little bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation going on here. It's like whatever we do could be having some negative consequences. Whatever we don't do could be having some negative consequences. That doesn't mean, that it's telling you to not do something or to do something, and it doesn't mean that it's telling us that we're fucked either way or anything like that. It just means that, again, this is more complicated than some people think, and some people could get swept away in a moment thinking it's going to make some radical lasting change, and then it doesn't in the way that they think. However, we did get this card on top of it, our Nine of Cups card upright. And so with this, there will be small wins. I'll describe it that way, small wins. So wins that are substantial enough that people will feel, some people at least, will feel like, okay, this was worth it. I'm glad that I did this kind of thing. But in terms of, again, long sustainable change, we're talking a lot of wait time on something like that, a lot of wait time. And so the impacts from this, it seems, will be more subtle than what people hoped. Again, I'm not saying that means it's worth it or not worth it. Just a girl reading cards here from the perspective that we're allowed to have at this time. And from here, it just looks like they're compassionate and they're supportive, but they want people to really think deeper. There will be small wins. Other wins are going to take a lot longer to unfold, and they're going to seem a little bit more subtle than people hope. And in a way, people's hands are tied and limited on how far this can go. So people can take that how they will in terms of this. Let's pull these up and shuffle them back up and make sure we can get maybe another angle or two around this to kind of flesh this out a little bit more, see what else we can find that could potentially be helpful here. As I am shuffling up, y'all know we usually have some extended videos here on the channel. Got all kinds over there, probably like 100 or something over there. I need to really count. So for people who have already watched all the things here and they want to watch all the things there, that's available to you with the blue join button below or the link in the description box. You can be a member of the Perk Squad. Lots of perks to the Perk Squad. It'll tell you all about them over there. One of which that isn't listed over there is that we do weekly forecasts for everybody kind of wanting to know what to expect every single week. But one of them is that we do video shout outs. So shout out to you, Sweets Harmony, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. So shout out to you, Sweets Harmony, and thank you for being here. Love to have you. Very much appreciate you. And yeah, happy to do your shout out. So, y'all, let's take a peek. Dare we? Just for a minute to see, in terms of any kind of protests, and we're talking like universities or even protests beyond, if there's other kinds of protests beyond just universities, are we seeing that will get better? Or are we seeing that kind of a situation will devolve, get worse, get messier, get riskier, get more dangerous? Things like that maybe we should have a heads up about. Let's take a peek there real quick. And then we'll check into an update on the actual situation going on over there in Gaza. So, from what we have here, okay, it depends is what we're starting off here with this. So we've got the good side and the not so good side. All right. So things that will improve about this is that there will be some people and groups that do get taken seriously in the type of way that they can finally kind of lay down the gauntlet and rest a little bit, and they can feel proud of the fruits of their efforts. So I do see for some people who have been protesting, they will get, again, their small wins, which doesn't mean it's not substantial. It's just small in the grand scheme of things. But they will get their small wins, and they will feel like they can take that, and that'll be enough. And things could improve in that way. It also is kind of covering the fact that if there are places that are like, I've seen how this went down over here, and in order for us to not replicate that, let's do these things so that we're handling it differently. Maybe we'll get a better outcome. So I do see people trying to, go ahead and preempt things that may have gone not so well in other protests so that they can try to have cleaner protests, better outcomes for them. And so it's kind of the whole work smarter, not harder, don't recreate the wheel, that kind of a thing. And those are things that I see as, positives here of how these things could be considered getting better. In terms of how I see them considered getting worse. Second row down here, we've got the Justice card in reverse. We've got the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. We've got the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is injustice, bad luck, war of attrition. And just in case there's any people out here that don't know what I mean by the last one, it means, all right, who the hell's going to give up first? I'll ride this out longer than you can ride this out type of thing. And then it becomes about wills and endurance and stamina to sustain each person's side here. So it seems like this can get worse. Let's think back here. What they're putting in my head to describe this is think back when the pandemic hit. And there was a lot going on at that time about, the Black Lives Matter groups and movements like that. And there were some things that happened in that time that were escalatory, and shit started hitting the fan and getting worse because of those things that revolved around injustices. There's some potential mess coming up around these kinds of protests. Again, campus protests and other protests that are not necessarily associated with schools and campuses, but they're still, the point of the protests are to protest what's going on over there in Israel, Palestine, Gaza, etc. There's some additional mess to come of that. And when I say mess, I mean it lights a match around a gas tank kind of mess. So I see some things happening that whether it's somebody saying something really extreme in a really bad place, time, way, or whether it is a physical act of sorts that it's like, ooh, God, that's the wrong thing at the wrong time, or whether it's, you let your imagination take you into all the different things that it could be. It's just, match, meet, fuel. This doesn't look good. This is our bad luck card, and this is our having to give up card. So I do see that there's an aspect of this with the protest that, yes, will get worse, and considerably worse. It may take some time for this to happen. It may not get worse immediately. It may be a slow build to getting to this point. I don't know how fast or how slow this is going to happen necessarily. I just know that it will be very noticeable, and it will be a big deal, and it will be very unfortunate what happens. So this feels like it could be useful to say that if you happen to be seeing this video, whether you're a regular viewer or whether this video was just oddly recommended to you out of fucking nowhere, if you happen to be involved in any protest or around any protest, this is just cautionary, making sure you're safe. If you're seeing this message, it's probably because you're meant to know and have this as a heads up, and you're meant to ensure your safety and the safety of those around you to the best of your ability and to whatever is appropriate for, again, your own level of responsibility here. Not trying to put too much weight on any one person's shoulders by saying this, but if you're privy to this heads up, maybe you can make sure that if there's some places or situations that could escalate, that you're not there and your loved ones are not there, or things like that. Or if you're at a place where something simple, you could be involved in some really negative consequences, even if it's fairly simple, like, oh, I thought this was just going to be a peaceful protest. It's unfair how people, came through and dispersed the crowd. They did unfair things to us or whatever. You could avoid that, whatever. And again, allowing people the autonomy and the free will to choose what they want to choose, and to choose the consequences they want, to choose the ability to do their own risk-benefit analysis. Totally, that's on all of us to be able to choose. Just putting this out here and saying what I see, because this bottom row is not something we want to get swept up away in. Think about all the times you've ever seen any kind of a protest movement go awry. You don't want to be in that. That's all I'm saying from what I'm seeing. And no, I'm not holding back any specific details. If it sounds I'm being cryptic or whatever, I'm saying what I see. They're not giving me the exacts of what that will look like. And there's probably some reason for that. One of which could be that this may not be one isolated incident. This might be, several things that happen. And so it could be one happens this way, another one happens this way, another one happens this way. Not all situations might pop off the same. So could be that we're looking at multiple things here. So I do see that people can be making some changes. Small changes are still changes. And it feels like they're significant enough for people to feel proud of their efforts and satisfied with what they contributed. But I do see this kind of word of caution here about, I hate to use the word that came to my head right now, because the word could, people could misconstrue this word as, me being judgmental, but I swear it's just the word that came to my head. Be careful of zealotry. Just be careful to not get overzealous. Be careful to not get over arrogant. Be careful to not push the envelope too far. Remember earlier when we had our Hermit card in reverse over there that was telling us to have some deep soul searching before kind of getting too thick into the weeds in here? Just want to put that out as a reminder. So as I shuffle these back up, we'll look at one more question, which is just a quick update on the status of what we're looking at overseas. As it stands right now, kind of anything we can know, should know, need to know about where that's going, what to expect, just an update there. So as we shuffle up, we're going to aim for that. But shuffling up here, if you would like to book a private reading, if you want to have a private reading with me, BeasTalksAndTarot.com is where you can do it. You can book a private reading. Got private readings over there. Also got Reiki Energy Healing for people who feel like they need a cleansing, a clearing, a tune-up. Where do I have any chakra blockages? Is there anything I need to know? spiritually, emotionally, physically, whatever that's kind of coming up in a Reiki reading that would be helpful for me to know. All of that kind of stuff. Just a nice cleansing, clearing tune-up. Also have life coaching for people who are like, I'm stuck, I'm dissatisfied, I'm stressed, please help. I can do that. I'll work with you. Happy to do that. And then people who would like to read the cards the way I read the cards, there's tarot tutoring options over there as well. So BeasTalksAndTarot.com. Alrighty. So one last question. I'll let you just my interpretation. Update, please. War on Gaza, Israel, Palestine, etc. etc. What we can know. Haha. Alright. So, the elephant in the room. Let's go ahead. Elephant in the room. We got our devil card upright. We don't want to see him upright. In reverse, it ain't so bad. In the upright position, it's pretty bad. So, it does look like there's something coming up that is gonna ramp this up a bit worse. And y'all know, on the channel, y'all have seen me do several readings on this already. So if you're new here, or if you haven't seen that I've done probably 3 or 4 of the videos on this situation as it has been developing before, then, you know, go back through my videos and find those. There's probably on playlists as well about current events and political happenings and, you know, worldwide things and stuff like that. So you can look there as well. Y'all know from those that I am not a fear-mongering type. My guides don't give me information in that way. I'm not an extremist in things that I say on this channel, and I'm not going to be that today either, but I am going to be honest that what I see is that things will get worse over there. I mean, it's already been pretty bad. I think by the time I'm filming this, I want to say the last thing I had heard that we're, you know, up to, I don't know, like close to 40,000 people either deceased or injured, like critically. So it's, I mean, this is a big deal, and they understand that, and yet I do see with the devil card upright this getting worse. I see that the reason why it gets worse is because a certain people or group will have some bright ideas up their sleeve. And I say that with sarcasm, because this is indeed not bright ideas. These are bad ideas, and it looks like they're gonna go through with the bad ideas anyway, because whoever this group is, doesn't see that as a bad idea. So it looks like, again, the whole light a match, throw it out on the gasoline and walk away. There's that kind of a vibe going on here too, that's going to kind of amp up the volume over there. So, you know, there's already been incidences that have done that over there. I see more of those on the way. I think it will be more than just one on the way. As we're looking down here, I see that, again, we're getting our justice card in reverse about injustice, about things that are not fair, possibly even not legal, that are going to be coming up here. And so there's going to be some heated discourse around what is unjust, what is unfair, what is not legal. And there are going to be points of contention around that. This is messy. I don't like mess. A lot of us don't like mess. I'd like to say all of us don't like mess, but that's not true. There are some people that seem to thrive off of mess, and a lot of them are involved in this, apparently. So that makes me nervous. The Emperor card here, fortunately, is in the upright position. So with that, that means that there's somebody who is fairly strong and powerful in this scene, somebody who has some sort of influence over how things are handled over there, whether it's influence over politics, influence over spending, influence over weapons, influence over military, whatever kind of way this person has some influence over there, and they can be a positive force in this moving forward in the near future. They're gonna be felt like their back is against the wall and that their hands are tied in this situation, so they're going to feel like, it feels like there's no way out or nothing I can do, and they're going to be getting that messaging as well, like, yeah, you are backed against the wall, there's nothing else you can do, this is your only choice forward. But they are a good person, they are a smart person, they are a well-connected person, and they are a powerful person, and so that goes for something in this situation. And because of that, here we have a success card. So even if horrible things are happening, people throw around the word atrocities, and I can't even disagree with that's happening. It looks like whoever this person is, they will be able to make waves in a positive direction in the, I want to say, somewhat near future. The reason why I'm wanting to say somewhat near future is whoever this is and whatever these positive actions are, it feels like they are going to happen this calendar year, 2024. I just don't know if it's like super soon to now or if it's like a couple months down the road. I'm not entirely sure. At the time of filming this, here we go again. I don't know if it's going to, show up on there. I know it's going to wait for it to focus and then it's going to go away. 6:34 on Friday, May 17th. So I don't know if that's going to come in handy at some point or not. But this person, even if all the advice to them is that, hey, there's nothing else you can do, you're backed into a corner, you have no more options, somehow this person will manage to make some kind of a dent in this, or to get some kind of a clamp down on this, or something that looks positive. They will still have the power to do that, and that kind of a win per se that they're able to do will be a bit of a boost for people. So people who are freaked out, have low morale, or really afraid or whatever, that will be serve as a bit of a boost to be like, see, something can be done. See, thank God you did that. We've been waiting for somebody to do something that's effective and helpful instead of, worsening things. So I do see that. So again, they're trying to be realistic here and be like, yeah, things are going to get worse. And yeah, there's something or some things coming up that are more ways of popping off like what's already kind of happened, things that have happened already that were like, oh gosh, now it's escalated in this way, and oh gosh, now it's escalated in this way. We're gonna have more of those. But then I see this person coming in and somehow, despite all odds, having some kind of a way to positively influence this, even if it's, something like helping, like providing aid to people who were otherwise not going to get it, or whether it's like preventing one of those pop-off situations from happening and so that never happened, or whether it's talking certain leadership into making some sort of agreement that people can stick to that is, some kind of a harm reduction type of thing in this situation. Whatever it is, it gives like a bit of a lift for even if it's a momentary lift in this. This whole scenario just feels like like it's gonna take a while again. Like I have flashbacks to whenever I was doing the Russia-Ukraine thing, and people were like, it's gonna be over so fast, and I was like, this is looking like months or years. And then here we go, years again. Here I'm just seeing like, wow, just really dragging things out. So there's just sorry, no end in sight, you know. Just really, this is a lot. So any last things that we can know, spirit guides, about the updates around this that we could know, should know, whatever, any last things? Okay, they're saying once again to kind of pull things to some sort of a point of groundedness. This is my slowest knight in the deck, but he's also my most dependable knight. He gets what he's after. This looks like there will be some sort of conclusion to this at some point. Yes, it will be after a period of darkness, but there will be light at the end of the tunnel. The Judgment card is upright. There will eventually be a point of good judgment prevailing in this. That will eventually happen. So again, when people are fearing the absolute worst, you know, that one thing's going to lead to another, which is going to lead to another, which is going to lead to the end of everything for all of us, people have those worst fears, and time after time they keep showing me that I don't see that. That's just not the outcome that's here. So I do see this taking forever, and I see us having to go through the darkness before we get to the dawn. But I do see some positive judgment coming out of this. And again, I see some kind of a powerful figure being a big point in helping that out. Both times that we've gotten that powerful figure, it's been more of a masculine leaning energy and more of a fiery kind of energy. So it seems like whoever this is that's going to be able to help out in this way is more than likely a man. Could be a woman with very masculine yang leaning energy, but more than likely a man, and more than likely a very fiery energy. Doesn't necessarily have to mean that they're a fire sign in the zodiac, but that their personality is that very fiery, very passionate, ambitious, like don't take no for an answer. I know it. I know in my head the picture of what I want, and I'm going to go after it until that is what it's achieved. And that person twice now has come up upright position here. I do not think this means that there's going to be one person that wins this war, one person that's credited for everything ending. I don't think it's going to be like some hero, savior, whatever. But I think that they are going to be a catalyst that makes a big enough difference that helps pivot things and helps us get some sort of, positive directionality under our belts, such that we can kind of start clawing our way out of this mess. There's a lot here. And as always, please take time to watch the B-rolls so that you can lift yourself up at the end of this. Again, I get nothing out of you watching the B-rolls necessarily, other than the fact that it serves the collective for all of us to have some lightness, levity, smiles, laughter, whatever, after a big heavy read like this. That's helpful to all of our mental health. It's helpful to raising our collective vibration. And so I just suggest doing that. And if it's not the B-roll that's going to help you do that, then figure out something that is. But this has been a long one. And I guess we'll take a look at things as they keep coming down the pipe. And y'all take care. Stay safe. Be gentle on yourselves, everything that happens out in the world, we know the universal principles of as above, so below, as within, as without. And it's really true. The more we're getting craziness happening outside, the more we feel crazy inside. And also the more we feel crazy inside, the more we're all doing crazy outside. So as much as we can do to help ourselves and our own families and our own communities, that really does have a ripple effect. And so let's find our peace and let's hold on to it. Anywho, y'all, don't be a stranger. Come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. But I love you, man. Bye, y'all. This door has been open literally all day so that y'all can go and come and pee as you like. So why do I see a literal river of piss in this floor right up here? Why? Little girl. Hey, are you doing a squee boat? Yeah, we can't see your paws. Look, you're doing a little squee boat. Look at you. Look at you in your little squee boat. You look so comfortable. Nobody wants to move you. You're so comfortable. Look at you. Cute. 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 Boop. Do you have a Gatorade cap on your head? Did Daddy put a Gatorade cap on your head? What's it called?